Yesterday, Theresa May headed to Brussels to reopen crunch talks on Brexit with the EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker after the deal she agreed with the EU in November was strongly rejected by her own government. The Prime Minister hopes for progress on the Irish backstop issue, as she believes MPs can be persuaded to back her agreement if there are small but important changes to the terms of the contentious issue. However, today, Mr. Juncker insisted that a lack of a parliamentary majority in Westminster is at the heart of the deadlock and revealed he is not very optimistic of securing a Brexit deal with Mrs. May, as the Prime Minister faces mounting pressure from Remainer cabinet ministers to delay Brexit. Former Ukip chief Nigel Farage claimed this week he will stand in the way of extending Article 50 with a new Brexit party. The prominent Brexiteer said that the main policy of the party will be to ensure the UK leaves the EU and does not make any treaty or join any international organisation which involves in any way the surrender of any part of the United Kingdom's sovereignty, as Britain slowly heads for its Exeter report, written by Niall Gardner, former aide of Margaret Thatcher, and Sally McNamara, a senior policy analyst in European affairs, are recalling the man who surrendered Britain's sovereignty to the EU in the first place. Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown has re-emerged. In 2005, the European Commission and the European Council were pushing for a European constitution. However, voters in France and the Netherlands strongly rejected the proposed constitution in two respective referendums. Yesterday, Theresa May headed to Brussels to reopen crunch talks on Brexit with Jean-Claude Juncker. Image Getty. Gordon Brown rejected a referendum on the Treaty of Lisbon in 2007. Image Getty. Despite the strong opposition in the member states, Eurocrats ignored the results and the European Constitution was subsequently rebranded as the Lisbon Treaty, which passed in 2007 without a plebiscite. Writing for the Heritage Foundation, an American conservative public policy think tank based in Washington, D.C., Mr. Gardner and Ms. McNamara accused Mr. Brown of being the real enemy of the British people for signing the treaty. In a 2008 report, written a year before the Lisbon Treaty came into force, the authors said, Prime Minister Gordon Brown's decision to reject a referendum on the new European Union Reform Treaty of Lisbon should be viewed as one of the biggest acts of political betrayal in modern British history. Despite a rebellion by 29 of its own backbenchers, the Labour-led government defeated a Conservative proposal to hold a popular vote on the Lisbon Treaty by 311 votes to 248 in the House of Commons on March 5. Brown's refusal to support a referendum represented a stunning reversal of the manifesto pledge. Image Getty. Gordon Brown signing the Lisbon Treaty. Image Getty. Brown's refusal to support a referendum represented a stunning reversal of the government's 2005 manifesto pledge to hold a plebiscite on the European Constitution. Mr. Gardner and Ms. McNamara added that the Lisbon Treaty paved the way for the creation of a fledgling superstate, which further eroded the legal sovereignty of European nation-states, entrenched a pan-European magistracy, a European public prosecutor, a federal EU police force, Europol, and an EU criminal code. They concluded, the notion that the people of Europe should not have a vote on a treaty with huge implications for the future of the continent demonstrates the utter contempt that the Brussels bureaucracy has for the average man or woman on the street. There is no doubt that if the treaty were put to a popular vote, the electorates of several countries would reject it. The whole European project is fundamentally undemocratic, unaccountable, and opaque. If subjected to referenda across the EU, it would almost certainly be consigned to the dustbin of history.